since we moved into our building in 2013. We've been told time and time again by the city that there is nothing they can do despite countless incidents of prostitution and drug dealing, vandalism, harassment of our employees, clients, fires, fights, and constant trash have been deemed our problem by the city.
Hey guys, check this out. What is it? Is someone in?
For the record, Jay Burney, City Manager. I want to take a few moments tonight to talk about the mitigation site move. I know we have community members and parents connected to St. Michael's Parish here tonight to share their thoughts with council about the planned move of the mitigation site to the Quince Street property. The city council members and city staff have been reading your emails, and staff have been responding to the mail on council's behalf. We hear your passion on this issue and understand the concerns around the mitigation site move, and we very much appreciate the feedback on the decision and the process and want to continue to hear from all of you. The City of Olympia is clear-eyed about what has been successful and what has not been successful at the mitigation site, as it has been cited at the Franklin Street for the last few years. We have learned a lot. Please know we have no intention of picking up the old mitigation site and setting it down as is on Quince Street. We see this move as an opportunity to reset and retool our mitigation site model. We intend to keep and bring the things that are working well and work with the mitigation site residents and neighbors, leaving behind those things that harm everyone's success. Engaging with the St. Michael's community and listening to your concerns as part of that resetting process. I'm heartened by our history of working together when we established the Plum Street Tiny House Village, and I hope you are too. We know you are part of the Catholic community with a strong commitment to help. We anticipate that the move will happen sometime in the first quarter of 2022, and we'll use that time between now and then to work with and listen to all of you to gather your input as we move the mitigation site. We will be hosting a listening session over Zoom on November 8th, and I encourage you to come and share your concerns and ideas, and we look forward to more conversations as we move forward on the proposed mitigation site move. Thank you.
We're going to be going straight to public comments. I'm going to call forward Matt DeBoard.
Hi, everyone. I've gotten to know a lot of you over the years, working with you on a lot of projects from downtown. I'm very involved in the ODA, as the co-chair of the Downtown Improvement District, trying to help get our downtown on a clean and safe and more vibrant. Unfortunately, that's been put on hold, but I appreciate all the support that I received from you when we tried to do that process. I also, along with Jay, want to express my appreciation for the what he said for the Plum Street Tiny Village. The St. Michael Parish community had concerns about that. We worked with the city. I think you saw in my email, Mayor Selby and former council member Bateman, I really appreciate your cooperation on that. We really feel at St. Michael that the Plum Street Tiny Village is a huge success. I just read a report last week about 2 members of the homeless community being placed into permanent housing. And we'd like to work with you on something similar on this new proposed mitigation site. I appreciate what Jay said about being clear-eyed about this. The downtown mitigation site right now is a very huge challenge on the community. The surrounding business owners really have struggled with it, all the vandalism and crime going on there. And I know business owners that have moved out of downtown because of it. And so I appreciate that you are putting something on the schedule for us to have a further conversation about this. But we want to make it very clear that the current mitigation site would be a very unwelcome addition to the community near St. Michael's and near those small businesses at the gateway to our downtown. And we want to have a further conversation about how we can work together to make a mutually beneficial site there that is not something that puts our children who attend St. Michael's School at risk. So I think I've probably used my 2 minutes, and I'll cede the floor to Bill.
I am going to call forward now Bill Bode, followed by Eric Ebel.
Bill may unmute themselves.
Hello, my name is Bill Bode. Actually, I own a building in the Percival Creek Office Park. Our location is frequented by the folks living in the Deschutes Park Campway and surrounding areas. Our problem with our homeless neighbors has escalated since we moved into our building in 2013. We've been told time and time again by the city that there is nothing they can do despite countless incidents of prostitution and drug dealing, vandalism, harassment of our employees, clients, fires, fights, and constant trash have been deemed our problem by the city. Our building association erected a fence around the complex to keep our employees safe and our buildings clean and undamaged, which was predictably as effective as putting up Christmas lights because our neighbors decided to simply put holes in the fences. Especially during the winter, when it's dark in the morning and dark in the evening, our team walks to and from their cars in pairs at minimum. These are adults, not children. We recognize that there will be no change in our situation, and we simply must deal with it until the city, elected officials and citizens alike, collectively decide that all this behavior is unacceptable and has the gumption to say no more. The violence, drugs, and general lawlessness ubiquitous with the homeless camps are not and will not be isolated to the mitigation site, but will permeate the entirety of the surrounding area. Our children are also a vulnerable population, and our collective priority should be to them. Opening a mitigation site next to any school is unconscionable. Relocating folks simply changes the location where these problems exist. In a situation with no good solution, I choose to continue to deal with these issues at my place of work as opposed to moving the problem next to my children.
Thank you, Mr. Bodie. And I want to remind people that if you could not complete your statement, please email them to us. That actually gives us another chance to, hear what you said. The 2 minutes, I'll give you a 30-second. I forgot to do that tonight too. Warning, and then we'll ask you to stop and then just email us what you couldn't finish saying. Next, I've got Eric Ebel, followed by Joshua Roberts.
Eric may unmute themselves.
Hi there. Sorry about that.
We can hear you.
Great. So thank you very much, Madam Mayor, members of the council. My name is Eric Ebel, and I'm a resident of Lacey, Washington. I want to echo everything that Matt and Bill just said. The reason I'm addressing you this evening is because you've proposed placing the low barrier homeless mitigation site within 500 feet of my children's school. I have 3 children who go there. Now, it's unclear at this point whether the site will in fact be low barrier, high barrier, but that designation is really kind of irrelevant to the fact that nobody who looks at the failures of the downtown mitigation site should think it would result in any different outcome in an alternate location. Now, I want to remind everyone, there was a time in this country when if one of our neighbors was in crisis, we would all band together to help them overcome it and get back on their feet. There'd be no greater priority than to serve your fellow human being. And that means rooting out the cause of their distress and finding a way to help them correct it, not just moving the problem to a more convenient location. One way to start would be to look at the city's budget and identify everything that should be secondary priority to helping another human being. Kick a drug or alcohol addiction, receive proper mental health treatment, or find a meaningful employment opportunity. You should all be willing to postpone those lower priorities until the immediate crisis is abated. Things like putting up holiday-style lights, things like parades and festivals, music, art, theater, all worthy expenses, no doubt, but more worthy than helping out a fellow human being and helping a neighbor survive? I think not. In a crisis, difficult decisions need to be made, and I believe that this council can do a better job of it. I encourage you to find the funding to create a pipeline that funnels your city's homeless into places where they can receive treatment, medication, education, vocational skills, moral and emotional support so that they come out productive, self-sufficient contributors at the other end. Please add this to your goal of creating desirable low-income housing and site that housing in a place that doesn't potentially endanger our kids.
Thank you. Next, I have Patricia Bracey, followed by Terrence Ma.
Well, thank you for your time for listening to our suggestions. The homeless area has been kind of implemented really close to these 3 schools. There's actually 3 schools, and speaking to people from Madison and from Avanti, they do not, and they are not aware of this site being used for the homeless, which I think is a sad state for not allowing people to know exactly what's going on in their communities. Also, the problem is that as soon as you get off the freeway, that is one main road to get into Olympia, which takes you into designated areas such as downtown, such as the Puget Sound areas, and so many other places where tourists travel. I think it's a really sad sight because that's what they're going to see coming in and going out of Olympia. So I think it's a very poor decision. Also, I think that it puts way too many people in harm's way. So I hope that you decide upon a better area for this and better means, because it's no better than dog kennels, which you're giving these people. It's really sad. Coming from Mexico, I have seen better shelters for people than what you're building for them. And I am very appalled that in the United States, we cannot do better. And I did write several emails and none of them were responded to me at all. So I hope that you take these things into consideration and that you see these people as human beings and not people that deserve chicken coops or shelters that are very low grade.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I have Terrence Ma, followed by Georgine, and I didn't get a last name.
Terrence may unmute themselves.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor Selby and City Council members for the opportunity to speak tonight. Just want to say that homelessness is a major concern in our city, and the people experiencing it need help. We as a community want to be part of the solution. However, the mere relocation of the current homeless mitigation site from downtown Olympia to 1211 Quince Street does not change or provide any new means in dealing with this issue. The current proposal is that this new development remain a low barrier site, same as the current one in downtown Olympia. This means that drug and alcohol use will be permitted, and those with prior convictions, including high-level sex offenders, will all be living at this place. Inevitably, as has already been shown in downtown Olympia, a low barrier site can have far-reaching consequences beyond the site itself. Non-participant individuals that a place like this will attract will bring with them illegal activities, including physical assault, robbery, vandalism, open drug use, and sometimes public defecation. St. Michael Parish Elementary and Middle School is a mere 450 feet away from this proposed development. Over 200 children ages 4 to 14 will be exposed on a daily basis to these dangers. In the past few years, my family and I have chosen not to visit establishment in the downtown Olympia area because it is simply unsafe there. However, children do not have the option to not attend school. This is exactly why a low barrier site has no place next to a school. I appeal to the mayor and city council to reconsider the establishment of this low barrier mitigation site at Quince Street. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Our last speaker tonight is Georgine Abbott.
They may unmute themselves.
Yes, hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Wonderful, thank you. Mayor Selby, council members, 2 Wednesdays ago, I met a homeless man on the east side off of Martin Way. He was not staying at the Jungle. We had the opportunity to speak briefly. He told me he was living in a camp with about 20 other people, 2 of them an elderly couple. He also told me he had been a carpenter but lost his job and as a result ended up on the street. He cried when I gave him a hug. It was a long one. He did not smell of marijuana, chemicals, or even cigarette smoke. His skin was clear, his pupils were not dilated, and the teeth he had were good. I do not think he was a drug user. He told me that his phone was dead and had been for some time. I tell you this because I told him I would tell his story. I commend and support the efforts that have been made to help the homeless, and my hope is that a little bit more could be done. I would like to ask that free phone charging be offered at City Hall and all city offices. My reasons are threefold. 1, it would be a great opportunity to make them aware of services. 2, a charged phone helps them access services. And 3, in the not unlikely event of a campfire or other emergency, they could immediately call for help. I don't know the electric costs, but I do believe they are small. I think the benefits of helping in this way would help with the overall problem of people living on the streets being the first thing they see when they come to Olympia and other concerns people have mentioned so far. I want to thank you for your time and for your consideration of this proposal. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
They're really showing themselves to do really well. Come on, man.